I'm Khakhalethu, from the Eastern Cape, from Ekomani. I grew up there, and I'm a painter. I'm very interested in exploring the material side of reality and how it intersects with the spiritual side of reality. And I make work that explores that and everything in between. But that was a crazy moment. Obviously you go in there and you're like, there's a possibility you can win, but you're obviously not sure. And being part of a very strong group also, you're like, every single person here is so good. So when they called out my name, I remember I stood up and I was gobsmacked, I covered my mouth. I was like, what? And it was so surreal, and I just couldn't believe it. And then it was a very great moment for me, and also just to have friends and family there as well. They were extremely supportive, and that also made me feel very loved, and very honored. It was a crazy moment, but I think I go back to it from time to time. Personally, it was a big affirmation. It was a big, statement that I am doing this thing for a reason, and all the work that I've put in over the years, it's paying dividends. It's not going unnoticed. Especially, coming from the Eastern Cape, there's not a lot of opportunities in terms of artistic-wise, so to have a foundation see me and believe in my vision and be like, yo, what you're doing, man, we see it, and we want to catapult that. For me personally, it's very affirming of my journey. And in my journey as an artist, it's a very huge stepping stone. It's it's like a platform where the rest of my career can actually catapult or take off. So it's a very pivotal part of my journey. I wouldn't say anything has changed. Just going in deeper, going in with more intensity and just greater intention. So not necessarily change the direction, but just the vigor and the force at which I'm going with. I am, because as a medium, for me, painting is it's a medium for exploration. It's a medium for just seeing the endless possibilities of what paint can do, what it can't do. So there's always those interesting subtleties with it. So every time I approach a canvas, it's an exploration, it's an adventure, it's a new kind of approach every time. Obviously I've built a style over the years, but it never gets too flat or dead because of that ongoing adventure. I guess the biggest challenge is to be in a city that I'm not from, and that city being so big. So so finding my footing, settling in, being in a different studio space, working in an environment that I'm not used to, that's been the biggest challenge. So I guess the way is to find my own rhythm within just this new environment and to inhabit it in a way that's authentic to me, that's my own. So I'll say that that's been the biggest challenge, because when you're like a fish out of water, you kind of, you're not at your best self because everything's new, everything's overwhelming. But once you start to find your space, find your own groove, then you begin to, feel like you. Sheesh, big question. I want to say something, but also not give too much, because like I'm someone who's really into anticipation. But I think this body of work says something about where I come from, the people that I come from, the spaces that I inhabit along with these people, and it also says a lot about how I view the world, how I see things, how I feel things. So yeah, I think that's good to say without giving too much. But I mean, obviously, in terms of like the conceptual side, right? I'm still exploring, this liminality of, reality. I'm still trying to see how is the spiritual realm, infused within our everyday, ordinary, visible like reality. So everything is kind of like explored through that lens. So I honestly don't have a desired kind of experience that I want people to have, but I want them to inhabit like a specific posture. Like I want them, when they get in the exhibition, to feel like the work is sincere, it's made by someone sincere, and it's very honest, and for them to feel that there's also an expectation of them to be as sincere, to be as honest, to be as open, within the exhibition. Hey, you might look at a painting, you might not like it. That's okay. But as long as you take the time, as long as you feel like, okay, someone did something here, and give it the attention, give it the just your focus, your concentration, and open up yourself to it. What you conclude is you. My hope is that it puts me in front of like an audience. So it creates a platform for me, for my voice, and for the ideas, experiences that I wish to share. And obviously the perks that come with that, in terms of just like, being able to live as an artist, and not struggle. I think that's my hope, just like for it to kind of be that vehicle that, brings me to people's attention, brings me to the spaces that I need to be in to do, what's in my heart, to fulfill the purpose that I have. Oof. When it comes to advice, man, I'm so hesitant. I don't like giving advice. But because everyone's journey is unique and different, I'll say be sensitive, be aware and conscious of, what is needed out of you at a particular moment. Sometimes, you might not be getting the attention or whatnot, and maybe that's just the time for you to focus on your work.